Hey guys, this is the second time that I'm actually going to This is actually the second time that I'm going to record a tank review for this tank, or the review part of the tank, because the first time it started when I was going through the armor layout. But anyways, I'm going to be reviewing the more mobile tier 8 heavy tank for Russia, which is the IS-3. Now, to start off with the IS-3, if you get in a top tier matchup where you are the top heavy tank on your team, or throughout the top heavy tank, because that is based on your skill, the matchmaking for like heavy tanks wise, if you're in a top tier tank, oh piss off phone. If you're in a top tier match, there could be a T-32 below you and a T-32 above you, and that just depends on all your matchmaking. That depends on your overall stats and who has the better stats. Sorry about that. But if you're in a top tier match, your armor works wonders if you use it effectively. Its armor is amazing for tier 8. And we'll start from the tech tree. Now, the IS-3 leads on from the IS, and the IS it's okay for tier 8. It's not amazing, but it's okay. I mean tier 7. It's one of the better tanks tier 8. I remember when I was playing in tier 5 and 6 tanks, I would be petrified if I saw one of these, because that's just how these Russian heavies are in top tier battles. Even the KV-85 at top tier at tier 6, you could have monstrous games with that thing. But anyways, it leads on from the IS, and I don't have any of the other modules on this tank other than the Object 245 and the IS-2 M1943. And the M1943 is literally just the D25T 122mm, which is actually the stock gun and the Object 703 gun on the IS-3. And the stock IS-3 comes with the stock turret, the D2. The stock IS-3 is nothing compared to the fully maxed out IS-3, which is what I have. But I'll talk about that, and I'll talk about the two other guns at the same time. So, really the only effective gun, if you want to use one of the worst guns on the IS-3, I guess you could say, you want to go for the M1945, which has a 4.88 round a minute rate of fire, 175 pen, which is actually horrendous for tier 8, because you can meet tier 10s with 390 alpha, and 390 alpha is nice on a tier 8 tank. It has 217 pen on its premium with that same 390 alpha, and 61 pen on its HE with 530, with 3.4 second aim time, which is horrendous, and you don't get a lot of compensation with the accuracy to a 0.46, which is a lot worse than it is better. And then with the M1945, you have the upgraded engine and the upgraded turret, and the upgraded engine goes from 650 horsepower, which is on the Object 703, which is, in my opinion, the first thing you want to get is the Object 703 instead of the M1945, because that just, once you get to 703, it just decreases the research price for the M1945. But you get the upgraded engine of 50 plus horsepower, which goes up to 700. You still have those same gun stats. All of them are the same, except for all of them are actually the same. But on the M1945, you get the upgraded turret, which is a huge upgrade. It has almost 100 millimeters more of frontal turret armor. It has 249 over 175. 249 at the front of the turret over 175, 172 at the front of the turret over, I believe, 120 over 120, and then 100 at the rear, which is still the same, but your turret traverses at 26, and your view range is 350, which Russian heavies are not renowned for their view range. But then once you get the IS-3M, which is the fully maxed out IS-3, you get a much better performing gun when it comes to pen and accuracy and that kind of stuff. Your rate of fire goes down a bit, down to 4.51. Sorry. Your rate of fire goes down to 4.51, but you get 50 millimeters more pen On your standard rounds, you go from 175 to 225 with the same 390, and then 217 to 265 on your premium, which is also almost 50 more, with the same 390, and then 530 on your HE rounds with 68 pen. You still have that horrendous 3.4 seconds aim time, but you get compensation with that for the accuracy. And then all the other stats of the tank are the same. Although I think, yeah, all the other stats are the same. So let's go to equipment and supplies. So equipment-wise, I don't have a lot. As you can see, my credit count is extremely low. I first have large caliber tank gun rammer because you always want that 10% rate of fire. After that, I'm going to be putting, I believe, vertical stable, or no, enhanced gun laying drive, just to decrease that aim time down to about 2.93 seconds. And after that, improve ventilation to just boost the overall performance of the tank by about 2.53%. And then supplies, I'm running 15 regular rounds, 10 premium rounds, and 3 HE rounds. And the AP and APCR rounds just kind of feel like a good balance. You have 15 APCR or AP rounds, which you usually don't run out of with an IS-3 unless you're having an amazing battle. The 10 AP rounds in case you're facing like tier 9s and heavily armored tier 9s and tier 10 opponents, and then the 3 HE rounds in case I'm facing lightly armored targets so I can hit them and do a lot of module damage, or if I just have to reset a cap on somebody who's hiding behind a building and just shoot the ground in front of them and have the blast radius do damage to the tank. And then usually I would be running a large repair kit, large first aid kit, and an automatic fire extinguisher. Which the automatic fire extinguisher I am running, but I'm running a small repair kit and a small first aid kit because, as you can see, I'll need to pay for a large repair kit right now. If I were to put that on, I'd have to pay 20k, which is not what I'm going to do. I am running small first aid kit as well, but I can run a large first aid kit, but I'm not going to do that because I don't know. I don't like getting damage done to my driver and then not wanting to repair him or heal him with the large repair kit, and then just after that having somebody else die or something like that. I don't like to get damage done to somebody and then I have to wait until somebody else ends up getting hurt and repair them both. I don't really like that. I like to repair somebody in the moment. And then automatic fire extinguisher, because my opinion, if you're gonna put some money on a premium consumable, it might as well be an automatic fire extinguisher. And now on to armor. It has 120 millimeters of track armor and a roof weak point. Actually, if I go over here, you can see just above that gun, that rectangular part just over top of the gun. It has 21 to 30 of spaced armor over the sides, and the tracks also count as spaced armor. I'll let you know that. The gun and turret ring are 31 to 50. 51 to 70, which I actually think is 70. Sorry, guys. You have the upper back of the turret and the ass of the tank, and then you have the driver's hatch, which is just below the gun there, if you can see it. It's the driver's hatch there. And then 71 to 90 is all your side armor, which is actually just all 90, not 71 to 90, it's 90 millimeters. And as you can see, it's curved up at the top. The armor is actually curved at an angle, which adds more effective armor. Which means if you're facing an IS-3 pretty much like this, with the spaced armor and the angling of the armor, that's pretty much an auto ricochet, or it just completely eats that shell because it has such effective armor. And then it actually has 110, not 120 on the front. At the angling like this, it's pretty darn effective if you're in a top tier matchup and you're using a bit of the gun depression. But if you're not and you're facing, like, let's say like a T-34, he's just going to be able to blast right through your frontal armor like it's paper pretty much, because he has roughly about 250 pen on his standard rounds and then 300, or I think it's 297 on his APCR rounds. So if he's shooting APCR rounds at you, which is normally what I use to load the T-34 with all the time because that's just how effective it is, when I had the T-34, he's just going to go right through your frontal armor like nothing. And now, that 110 or 120, I forget which is which, it's on the upper sides of the turret and the lower back of the turret. Which the lower back of the turret actually is 100. And then 121 to 160 is the lower sides and the upper front. And then the 161 to 190 is the middle of the front and the lower, like the lower sides of the turret. And then it has 249 right on the front of the turret, which 231 plus. But if you listened to earlier when I was doing the modules in the garage, or in the research section, it actually has 249 on the front of the turret. So it's pretty resilient, the turret. It can be effective in tier 10 battles if they don't hit that weak point. That weak point is 20 millimeters, so the 3 calibers rule will apply there, and any gun that's 60 mil or plus is going to go right through the top of your turret, irrelevant of how angled he is. And considering how much of a low profile tank this is, a lot of enemies will be facing you like this about instead of right in front of you, because it's pretty low profile. If you look, if I'm to go over here, let's say I go to the Tiger 2, which is right here. If I'm to go from the Tiger 2 to the IS-3, the IS-3 is a pretty low profile tank, so they'll always be facing you roughly like this, so they'll be able to aim right onto your upper weak point, and they'll be able to go right through. Which I think all guns tier 8 plus are actually over 60 millimeters. I think the smallest gun would be like a 75 millimeter. And that's on, I think, like the Kanonen Jagdpanzer and the Panthers until you get up to that 88. But anyways, that's this part of the review, and now we can get into some gameplay. Alright, now we're into some games. I'm only going to be showing one game because lately I've been playing a lot of bad games in the IS-3. I've been having a lot of bad games, but we're going to be playing on Prokhorovka Night. And as you can see, I was just looking at the enemy's team list, and I noticed that they have a lot of top tier mediums. And I was thinking that a lot of those top tier mediums were going to go to the hill, and that's what I'm hoping the team will be doing too. Because in my opinion, the hill on this map is actually a really, really pivotal point on this map. You win the hill, then people from the hill, let's say like snipers or something like that, snipers in tanks terminology are TDs, tank destroyers, they can sit there and they can snipe at people in the middle and all that kind of stuff. I almost said the poop word there, the bad way to say poop word there. But if they have a good camo rating, they'll be able to sit there in the bushes all day and snipe at the people in the middle, and effectively they would probably be the turning point of the game. But as you can see, 3 mediums, me, a Tiger 2, and I think a couple of other tanks behind. Actually, I think those tanks behind me are going to be going to the mid. They're going to be going to the city, or the little town in the mid. But me, this Tiger 2, and those 3 mediums are going to be going up to the top of the hill. And as you can see, that medium all the way up at the top of the hill right now is a T-44. Either a T-44 or a T-44-100, I don't remember exactly. But, well, we're about to see here, he's just a regular T-44. He's pushing really aggressively. He wants to get early spots off, and he spots a CDC. And right now I'm thinking, well, the enemies have fairly slow heavies, so they're not going to be able to make it up to the top of the hill really fast. So he probably just spotted those guys early because they made it to the hill. But actually, no. Those are the only 3 mediums that came to the hill. There's going to be, later on in the game, you'll see other tanks. But those are the only 3 mediums that came to the hill right now. So right now I'm thinking, well, I'm a tier 8 heavy with effectively a tier 9 gun, and there's 3 tier 8 mediums over here, so we could just push right through these guys. And in my head I'm thinking, okay, let's go. We'll push right over the hill. We aren't going to let them hold us back right there. We want to be able to push through the hill and get to the base. And that's what I was thinking right now, like push through the hill, get to the enemy base, and start shooting them in the back. But early in the game, there were a lot of heavy tanks spotted in the northwest, or a lot of the enemies spotted in the northwest corner of the map. So pushing right into the base would have been a bad idea. And as you can see, I only got one shot into the enemy there, which wasn't all that good of a game. So quickly I changed my mind from going to the base, and I'm thinking push right to mid, because they're gonna need some help there, because the actually no, not a Pershing, a Patriot is gonna push right through. And I wasn't actually looking at my screen here, and I'm gonna get tracked, and there you go, I get tracked, but I thought it was the Tiger II who ended up blocking me. And then I end up looking back and I see, oh, he's nowhere around me. So I did end up taking some damage, so I realized that it wasn't the Tiger II. But pushing up to mid here, the Tiger II decided to try and go to the base, which isn't a bad idea once you get to the train tracks, because you can kind of use the train tracks as cover from arty. But now I'm in mid, and this is where the IS-3 is king. There's a ridge line that covers most of the hull, and then if the enemies were shooting at me when I was back behind that ridge line, it would have been a slugfest. I would have eaten everything, because unless they hit the top of my turret, I would have eaten everything just about. But now you're gonna see me try and push the base. I tell the Tiger II that I'm on my way, because I see he's getting eaten a lot from the Edelweiss, or however the hell you say that tank's name. And then I noticed that there's an AMX-30 up in the northeast corner of the map, camping there. I'm guessing he was trying to defend the hill, but I hit him there. I think that was 314 damage. I think the screen's a bit small when you record on PlayStation Share or SHAREfactory. But this is actually a blind shot, and I actually get the kill. And I noticed that I'm just getting eaten alive by the Edelweiss. And this ties back to me saying you don't want to expose your hull armor all that often to tier 8s, because they're just going to blast right through. And as you can see, I've gone from 1200 health down to, I believe that says 211, I think. Or I've gone down to a fraction of my health just by exposing my hull armor there. If it was only my turret, he would have had no chance. And right here, how I was actually playing, and I was actually screaming at the game because I didn't understand how I couldn't get over the train tracks. And this is actually a low-profile tank that I shoot at there. It was a lucky shot. I hit him right in his frontal hull. I rolled high for 445 out of 390, and because I rolled high there, it it allowed me to kill him. And that is a really tricky tank to hit at long range. But there you go. We won the battle. We won the battle by a large margin, and I don't have a premium account, but I did 2,700 damage. I blocked 2,000. I killed, I think that was 2 tanks. It said. I wasn't paying attention to that quickly, but that's one of the better battles I've had in the IS-3 right there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tank review, and I hope you guys like, subscribe, and yeah, like, subscribe. Have a good day. Enjoy my other videos on the channel.